Testimony, but there is a testimony that happens 2 months down the road, like maybe 2 or 3 months down the road. All right, on a Sunday evening, I had to go in to help with the brunch because did I mention that I was a rock star server? And so when they got super busy, they called me to come help. Did I mention that? So, I'm just kidding. That was bragging, wasn't it? Okay, no bragging. But I was a great server. I'm just kidding. I was, though. But anyway, so I love going to church on Sunday night, but this particular Sunday night, I told you my dad's a pastor. We lived in a parsonage, so it's literally like the church, a parking lot, our house, right? To set this up for you. And I didn't get out in time to go to church. By the time I got out, it was already dark, and my dad was preaching. So I pulled up into my driveway. And I know that some of you guys aren't going to believe this, but there's a time when you actually had to manually get out of your car and physically open the garage door. Does anybody remember this? And so I get out of my car, and I go to open the garage door, and I hear footsteps behind me, and I turn around, and there's a masked gunman. No lie. Like, this guy's waving a gun in my face, he's cussing at me. It's apparent to me that this gentleman would like the car that I'm driving. And so, anyway, I think I may have tried to fight him off of me, but I was like 60 pounds and a musician. You know what I mean? So, like, he took one arm and he pinned me against the garage door, and he cocked the gun and he put it against my head. And just like that, I knew my life was over. I knew I was going to die. I didn't.
Yeah, you're here.
Well, the thing is, I saw like a few people be like, oh no, what happened? Just so I hate to be a spoiler, but I survived this encounter. So, there you go. But at the time, I did not know I was going to survive the encounter. So I began to pray. How many of you have realized that when tragedy strikes, your prayer life instantly gets awesome? Has anybody noticed this?
Yes.
But I was so convinced I was going to die that I didn't pray for protection. Instead, I prayed that God would help me to die like a man. And I don't know why. I don't know why that's the prayer that came. Maybe I felt like I was going to crawl into the fetal position and cry. And one of my schoolmates was going to see me and like tell everybody he died like a little girl. I don't mean that in my life or my death. So I'm literally praying, God help me to do this. And, a few moments pass by and the steel leaves my forehead. And so I look up and this guy who looked so scary a minute ago is shaking. He's trembling. And he's not looking at me anymore. He's looking above me. Honest to God, true story, guys. Shaking and looking above me. He slowly walks back and he gets into the car and he drives off. So he did get the car. It was my mom's car, so it was cool. But,
Oh my goodness.
but my house key was on that keychain. So now I'm locked out of my house. Now I got to go across the street to the church to get my mom's key. This is where the story gets interesting. So the church is set up very similar to the one that we're in tonight. There's an altar. And here's the thing. I walk in. While my dad should have been preaching, my entire church is in the altar. And they're praying for me.
Wow.
I walked in and the guy over here looks at me. He's like, hey, well, there he is. That's how people talk in Kansas. That talks just like Goofy. 4 of you know who Goofy is. No, but seriously, he's like, well, there he is. And what I found out is my mom had stood up in the middle of my dad's sermon. Tears rolling down, mascara coming everywhere like some of you lady folk do sometimes. And she said, I just got a burden for my son, Philip. I feel like he's in danger. Could we all pray for him? At the time I was an idiot. I was like, what a coincidence. You won't believe what just happened to me. In retrospect, I realized more likely it was like God was like, okay, Phil's too stupid to pray for protection. I'll talk to his mother.
Amen.
I'm so glad that God's still speaking to moms.
That's right.
But so we end up calling the police, and the FBI, the Federal Bureau, I'm trying to condense this story, the Federal Bureau of Investigation shows up at my house. I felt super cool because they have their polos and their badges. But here's what we found out that night. Their entire line of questioning was, how did you survive this encounter? And it hits me, I'm like, why are the FBI here? And this is a local police case. And it turns out it was a national case. And they explained to us that there wasn't just one guy, there were 2 guys. Because the other guy left his car right around the corner. They come up through Texas, through Oklahoma, and into Wichita, and they'd stolen 6 cars already. And with each car they stole, they left a body behind.
Thank you, Jesus.
All I can tell you is I knew it. I knew these guys were killers. I knew this guy was a killer. I felt it. So they were like, how did you survive this encounter? They came with the intention of taking your life. And all of a sudden it hits me, I realized my mom and my church was over there praying for me.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
remember this guy looking above me like he saw an angel protecting me.
That's right.
I don't know that he did because I never asked him. But something happened, and there was a
He
Bible
did.
verse that came into my head, and I've already quoted it for you. I said, I guess I'm alive because the Lord's my refuge and strength. And a
Amen.
very present help in the time of trouble.
Yes, he is.
Now, to tell you also, to back up, just so you know, before they got to Kansas City, these two gentlemen pulled over to the side of the road and they turned themselves in.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe something happened.
That's right.
Not only did they turn themselves in, I got called in as a witness in their case,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up not having to testify because they pled guilty to every charge.
Amen.